This is one of your composts, Simon?
Yes.
I see quite a few of them around the blocks, I do, because great believer of consistency. So you've got to have a look at what's going on. The combinations, you've got your bark fines, you've got all your bit of fish waste, you've got everything in here, which is great, and it's mixed, and that's the key to a good compost. People see, yep, that looks good because it's a nice heap, tidy. I've got a real simple way of doing it. It's actually get your hands dirty and have a look, because theoretically under that should smell sweet. And that's the key to it. And I've seen enough of your compost to know that if I go and put my hand in there, I know what it's going to come out like. So when we're putting compost on, one of the key things that responds to the compost the fastest is not only the plant root, but the microbes that are around it. And good compost is their playground. They love that, and that's what rebuilds. So if we can get that going, and so usually take the dry stuff off, everything dries off, but good compost should look like that, not like coal dust, and everyone thinks that looks like coal dust, but it doesn't. It's not hot, it's holding moisture, smells sweet.
Beautiful,
Right,
nice and
it's nice and balanced. There's no funny coloured growth in it, it's all nice and balanced, it's sweet, it's holding moisture, you can actually feel it, and I've taken that out, you feel how cool that is.
Yeah, nice.
Right? So you can see why people make the mistake of trying to get moisture retention. So they see a pile this big and it's moist down here and they go, that's how deep. Well, that's no good for the microbes. You can see here's the area that needs to happen. This is the area here that dries out, but you can see how much it holds the moisture in here. And if we've got moist soil in under here, that's all going to move into it, like we saw up there in that 2-year-old block. As I mentioned earlier on, there's a big misconception about what you want to do with your compost, weed protection, moisture retention. And 9 times out of 10, the guys selling the compost are selling you as much as they can. When I'm looking at it for restructuring and sustainability, and believe it or not, this here actually shows us what we're looking for here. So we've got, this is the dry out area and this is the moist area that's down there. Now if our soil had moisture in it, we only need to put it on like that.
Excellent.
So in a vineyard situation, we're working a weed spray strip, which is usually about 1/2 metre. And in that 1/2 metre, I do a calculation. I look at that and I go, you only really want it 2.5 inches. So people that ring me up and we talk about it, I try to talk to them or talk them through the processes that you're better to do a little and often rather than throw it on, because from my point, the biology, don't want to have all of this and then be left sitting there hanging for another 10 years till finances come. So when we're looking at the financial side of things, you're better to do a third, and then come back in the 3rd year and readdress it again. So it's going to take, we've seen in 2 years, the soil we had up the hill, it's actually worked into the ground that much. So at year 3, you can come back and put that much on again, and that will just speed that whole process, will keep that process continuing. So you're rebuilding the organic content in the soil profile. This is a commodity that has to be affordable, and if it's affordable, it's usable, and if it's usable, it actually does a benefit. So it's all about reconstituting soils. And once you've got that moved into the ground, into that soil profile a couple inches, you've now got your different weed species coming in, they're going to be easier to handle. We've got aeration, we've got water filtration, or should I say better utilisation of the water when it's there, because if they cut it off, the root mass is going to hold it. And it's response to that, the biology, the vineyard management, the watering regime. There's a whole multitude of things that when people ask me, I make sure they take all of those into consideration. And that's what you guys have done. When we first started, we looked at it, we came down, and you understand that you don't have to put more on to get a result. And I take my hat off to you for that, because that's really the way of the future. It shuts down and it doesn't grow grass. If you've got a mob of sheep, you open the gate and they all walk out. Try and do it with a vineyard. So you've got to take everything to them. So you've got to get everything. So be prepared to do this. The sustainability means we need to keep continually topping it up. We're watering it, we're giving it nutrition, we're now giving it the ability to put a bigger root mass to store more.